She's stuck inside my mental. She got a body like a temple. Even though she drives me crazy, I tell everyone that's my baby. She's
What's up, y'all?
Hello, welcome back. My name is Beautiful,
And I'm Ace.
and we are
Together real bad.
Real bad.
Yeah, I like how that went. Real bad. Anyhow, it's kind of late.
It is. It's late, and I'm tired. I'm tired, boss.
So since that's the case, well, a couple of reasons why that's the case, because it's late for one, because you worked all day. And the other reason is because we're going to do 2 episodes tonight.
Yeah, a bonus episode.
If you will. And the first episode is going to be just talking about, I don't know if you guys can see the description if you're watching on YouTube. Hello to whoever's watching on YouTube. Just talking about polyamory and monogamy and how we've kind of experienced it. Threesomes, if you will, however you want to refer to it as. And the other episode is going to be entitled
Sweet and Low Daddy. No explanation needed. If you don't know what a sweet and low daddy is, go ahead and look that up. But yeah, it's gonna be a real interesting conversation.
Yeah, and that one is going to actually be posted on Patreon, hopefully by Monday. Today is the 29th of March. Monday is April Fool's Day. I'm not fooling you though. Hopefully it'll be posted by Monday. So yeah. So we're gonna kind of, I guess, get right into it. Again, we're talking about, I don't even want to call it, I don't even want to say polyamory, monogamy, and all this. Just too many different terms. But what I will say is including an extra body in your relationship in one way or the other. So we both have had some extra body experiences. Should I call it that? Extra body experiences?
That's an interesting way to put it, for sure.
Okay, so I like that, extra body experiences. So we've both had some extra body experiences in our previous relationships. And I'll talk about mine first. This was 2 relationships ago when I was, younger. I was probably like late 20s, early 30s. Was in kind of like a lifestyle situation.
What is lifestyle for those who don't know?
I don't know the Webster's term, but back then it was like basically there were lifestyle groups that you could join, or you didn't have to like officially join, but you just like had the Facebook invite or got the text message, or you just knew where to go on what day. And it was like a group of people that got together and basically either partied or had like group sexual experiences. Now, I will preface this by saying I've never had a like more than 3 sexual experience. Just it's one between the person that I was with, right, and then another person. So it wasn't my last relationship. It was actually the one previous to that. So it has been quite some time that has passed. But we used to include thirds. Probably, I can think of probably like 2 or 3 times over the course of our relationship.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you did.
I didn't know how many times.
But I mean, we had been together for like a while, like 8 years. And so it's, I don't even know, we never even really had a conversation about it. It just kind of, I felt like it came along with the territory when it came to her. So as like I was around her more and around more of the people that she was around, it honestly just kind of crept into our relationship. It just kind of happened. There was no conversation. There was no preface. There was no, hey, do you want to do this or that? And I think just in my young age, I didn't know enough and know better to be like, we should probably have a conversation about how this is going to go. Right. It was really just all for fun. And it was fun. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and be like, oh, it sucked. It was fun, but it's kind of created small problems in our relationship, and I attribute that to us not like talking about it. I can remember one instance where we were being intimate with, and they were all females. No males were involved. So one time we were being intimate, and I knew this one particular woman was more into me than she was into her. And in our like while we were having sex, like I felt that, like I felt like I was like being cut off, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know how to explain it, but you just have a feeling where somebody don't want you over here, or they don't want you doing this or that and the third. And that's the feeling that I got like the entire time that we were being intimate with this particular person. And so it made me kind of feel away, because why, if we're supposed to be doing this together, right, and we're supposed to be experiencing this together, have enough I guess trust and belief that like I am where I'm at, like, you know what I'm saying, this is just for fun, this is an added, this ain't nothing that has to happen. And it's something that I'm pretty sure she suggested, or I don't know if somebody inboxed her. I honestly don't know how it all began. I just know we never had a conversation about it. So that awkward feeling during sex with this particular person, it definitely is because we never ever like talked about it ever. And so that I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad that I had those experiences while I was younger, because it, believe it or not, like opened up my mind to what a relationship is, or it could be, right? A lot of times, in my opinion, if you speak to someone when they're younger and you'd be like, hey, you know, there's like more than
just vanilla,
yeah,
what they call it.
Yeah. There's other ways to have a relationship out there, and none of those ways are wrong or incorrect. It's just about your capacity to handle certain situations. So that's I don't know, that's kind of my background with lifestyle, or having a third, or I don't even know if you would call it polyamory, but just adding an extra body to the mix. How about yours?
Well, I have to correct you. So there was never a time where like I was in a relationship and this situation came up. I was actually the third party to a relationship. And honestly, I had been prior to this my first and only experience, I had been approached by like 2 or 3 other couples. And at the time I was younger and I wasn't exactly comfortable doing that. And part of the reason is because like, what did the dynamics look like? That's what was in my head. Like, those are my thoughts. Like, who, you know, are we focusing on one person? Is the focus on me? Do I have to go down on the girl? And at the time I wasn't comfortable with that. And it was just a lot of uncertainty around the whole situation. So I declined those other offers, even though I did have like a little bit of a crush on one of the males in this one couple, in this one relationship. I had a crush on him, and he had been flirting with me for a while. And then his girl, we were at a party or whatever, and his girl kind of found me attractive too. And she's an attractive woman for sure, and she had body. But again, I was younger, wasn't comfortable with the situation, wasn't sure what it was going to look like, so I declined.
Wait, do you regret declining? And when I say that, I don't mean like sexually. I just mean as like a experience, or like
honestly, no, I don't regret it, because number one, it was with somebody who I would see quite often, and I didn't want that awkward like moments when we would see each other in person again. Also wouldn't want anything getting out to like our social groups. And he's in our social groups. And so yeah,
people do not know how to shut their mouths.
Right, exactly. And especially since and this is not to brag or anything like that, but I've always kind of been, and like a lot of females out there, especially when they're new to our social scene, is like a hot commodity type of thing. And I didn't want to be the one like, oh, I got her.
Yeah.
In that situation.
Right.
So yeah, I've declined those offers, but later on in my adult life, there was this guy who I had the biggest crush on in college.
Okay.
And we kind of tried talking in college, but it never went anywhere. But we followed each other on social media. We still stayed cool or whatever after graduating and things like that. While out one day, actually, when we won women's
LSD
co-ed, yes,
flag football. Okay.
Yes, we had a party at Joy District. I think it was Joy District. Yeah, because it was 3 floors. It was at Joy District, and he happened to be there with his girlfriend. Now, since I follow him on social media, I've seen them together. She's a beautiful girl. But I always wondered, like, wonder how they got together, because she seemed a little bit different. But she was so super cute, super fun, very sweet. And at some point, like, I posted something on my Instagram. This is a little bit of a backstory. I posted something on my Instagram alluding to the fact that I like females. And so he commented on it, and we ended up kind of like talking about me liking females, have dated females, and having experiences with females. So he was like, oh, okay, you know, my girl, you know, kind of likes girls too sometimes. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that was weird for him to mention then. So fast forward to this party, he's there, and he was like, oh yeah, my girl's here too. I was like, oh, okay. Now by this time I had forgotten about the whole Instagram conversation that we had. And so he brought her around, and she gave me a hug. Apparently he had spoke about me to her before. So she gave me a hug, and she's like, oh, we got to take a drink, or what? We got to get a drink together. And I was like, okay, that's cool, or whatever.
Right. Not thinking nothing.
Not thinking anything of it. Later on, he comes to me, like, while I'm just chilling with the team, and he was like, my girl is kind of feeling you. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, that's okay.
Right.
So night goes on, and they finally like, hey, let's go get our drink. So I went to go get a drink with them, and then that's when they kind of brought up the conversation of like, yeah, like, you know, we should all like go out one time, like go out for dinner or whatever. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll be down for that.
Still nothing.
At this moment, I kind of felt like possibly, right? So we got into a group chat, and we ended up talking kind of often, like getting to know each other. And that's what made me feel so comfortable, because we got to know each other. I got to know him in a different light, sending pictures back and forth, setting up like dates or whatever. Although we hadn't had a group date, me and her went out one time together. Okay. And we actually enjoyed each other, and I feel like that was the biggest part for me, because I already had a crush on him.
Right. That was
a no-brainer. But I wanted to, you know, get to know her. Okay. And after getting to know her, I'm like, okay, she kind of cool, and she was cute. So this one day, me and her got together on the side, and we set up this plan to surprise him. So
I don't think I heard
you've
this. You've
never heard this.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm ready. Come on with it.
So, okay, yeah. So we planned to get together, and the plan was like, you know, come over, you know, bring your toys or whatever. We're going to order food or whatever, and I'm going to get the door, and it's going to be you. He's going to have no idea. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm nervous as fuck, bro. Nervous as hell.
I can imagine. It's just a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So came in. I made, as soon as I walked in the door, like I walked straight into the living room, and he was watching TV, talking to the girl as she went to go get the door, and I walk in, and he's like, oh.
He already knew.
Well, what you doing here?
He already knew what time it was.
And so I made drinks. We had an edible, and we played a game.
Wait on this edible to kick in.
Wait on the edible to kind of kick in. We played a game to kind of loosen us up a little bit. And the game just progressed and progressed. And progressed.
Yeah, okay.
Into full blown like sex.
Okay.
So at first she was, using a toy on me.
Mm.
And then eventually I started.
Oh, you turning red.
I'm not turning red.
See it in your cheeks.
I don't turn red.
Oh, maybe it's the lighting back there.
It's definitely the lighting. Don't do that. Do not
go
do
ahead.
that.
You don't have to give specifics if you're not comfortable.
Okay, I won't. But anyway, so me and the guy started, having sex. And so that's how it happened.
So during your sexual encounter with them, did you like feel any jealousy or any like don't do this, don't do that? Like sometimes like you can feel that if one person feels one way or the other. Did you get any of that?
Not exactly. A little bit, but not exactly. So I kind of sensed something while me and him were having sex. While she sat on the side. However, she later on I found out because I asked her about it. Because I wanted to make sure, like, I didn't overstep or anything like that. Because, I mean, I'm not the one in a relationship. I don't know what you guys spoke about.
Right.
So, I wanted to make sure that I didn't overstep any boundaries or anything like that. Because I kind of sensed that something was, like, she wasn't comfortable with something. And she was like, "Oh, no, I'm fine. Like, y'all was good." She had porn on, watching porn. Like,
wait. So it was just y'all two. She wasn't.
Yes, she was at one point as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then she left?
No, she never left. She was still sitting there watching us and watching porn.
Oh, got it. Voyeur. She's a voyeur. Okay. I got you.
She a voyeur like you.
A voyeur like myself. Yes.
Which I was so surprised to hear that.
Why?
I don't know. I just was. But yeah, so that's how it happened. And that was the only sense of jealousy that I found in that. But while he was having sex with me, it was like he had been waiting to do that since college.
Oh, you could tell.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I said,
And he said some things in my ear too that made me feel that way.
What'd he say? You don't want to disclose it? Ooh.
I don't need to disclose it.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Okay. So those are our stories.
Yeah.
Those very interesting stories.
The more you know, we have 2 people watching. You missed the best part.
I know, right? They can watch it later. Yeah. Okay, so we've told our stories about our additional body. I think that's what I called it. And we've actually had a conversation about this, about if we wanted to include like a third individual body in our relationship. And what I've always said is, if you find in the sexual department that like something is lacking, an obvious something that I can't give to you, then there's a conversation to be had. And I mean, I still mean that, right? Yeah. Because I think it's important to be able to separate sex, right, from just sex, and like intimacy and sex and like being in a relationship with that person. And so that for me, it was just a mature decision to make. I'm sure everybody doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
Right. But again, for me, it just, I want to make sure that you're happy. Right. And if that's one of the things that you need, not want, but like need to feel happy, then again, there's a conversation that, needs to be had.
For me, honestly, if it ever got to that point, I mean, because we have a safe space, I'll be comfortable to let you know that.
Right.
But to be honest with you, I found it more fun, and this is with me not having the experience of being the couple and inviting somebody else in.
Yeah.
I found it more fun to go into another couple.
Oh, be the third.
Because there's no real attachments to anything.
Yeah.
Just for fun, and then I'm out. Whereas if I'm in a couple, it's like, oh, you enjoyed it, and then you enjoyed it a little bit too much for me.
Yeah.
And then it kind of gets a little messy.
Right.
Now, I don't sense that would happen with you about it getting messy or anything like that, because we have an open line of communication, and we have, this overwhelming trust bond between us. So I don't see it getting that way. But in past relationships, that's been the reason. Like, I don't trust these niggas to not go behind my back and then, you know, be with the other person, because in heterosexual relationships, they will always opt for another girl versus another man.
Right.
Which I'm like, whatever. But that's fine with me too, because at the same time, I wouldn't have wanted, you know, another man. And I'm like, no, that's not fun.
Right.
That's not. No, no, thank you.
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Way too much. So, if that was to ever happen, I would have opted for another female as well.
Okay.
But in our relationship,
yeah, I
don't see it for us.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it were something that you like needed, like I would watch, but I don't want to be included.
And that would be awkward for me. That's why I said you being a voyeur?
Voyeur, yeah.
I still find that interesting about you. But I don't know. I can't picture anybody that I would invite into the bedroom for me to have sex with in front of you. That is weird. That is weird for me. I don't think that I could do that.
No, I mean, hey,
I don't.
There's nothing wrong with it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let me see here. My next I don't want to call it topic, but and we kind of touched on this when you were speaking about your experience, but did anything besides you just saying like, all right, hey, y'all good? Nothing else happened? Like he didn't try to contact you outside of that? He didn't try and holler at you again?
It never happened again. So I found out later because me and the girl became close. We got closer. And so I found out later that I think he was a little bit jealous of me and hers relationship. And so while she wanted to possibly do it again with all three of us, he made it seem like I was uncomfortable and I was uninterested and didn't like it and didn't want to do it again.
Okay.
She never knew that. She thought that he had a conversation with me and he told her this information. So it actually never happened. And so had it came back up, I probably would have done it again because I had a good time.
Right.
Like it was better than I thought it was. Yeah. Like I left the next day like, wow. Like,
did that have anything to do with the edible?
Absolutely. But I was like, wow, like I really just did that. Like I couldn't believe it. Like I was so excited to tell like my best friend or one of my best friends this information because it seemed so unlike me to do something like that. And I was happy that I had that experience.
Right.
And I'd do it again. So
tell me her name.
What's her name?
That's an inside joke, y'all. Sorry. It's a meme, but it's hilarious. So okay. I don't recall. I don't think there was any like backlash or whatever, but I do know, I remember that one of the women that we were together with like was in my inbox and was like, do y'all ever do anything outside of being with each other? And I was like, no, you know, everything we do together. Because even I've never had a trust bond as strong as ours. And even with that being the case in this relationship, like I trusted her to an extent, and I still think she cheated on me, but that's a whole different thing. I trusted her to an extent, but it was more so me not like wanting to cheat or go outside of, you know, my relationship or what was going on. So that is that's that part of it.
We've been approached.
We have. Well,
but
wait.
I mean, somebody hopped into my DMs asking.
You're right. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about when we were walking on the street and the girl was like, dang, what y'all play something? Y'all look good. But I know now.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Remember when we went to, we were coming back, I think, from the ramen noodle place and we had just got done with football. And
the ramen noodle place?
In Hyde Park. The noodle place in Hyde Park. We had gotten food.
Chant?
No. The one on 53rd. I can't remember the name of the place, but it's in the strip on 53rd. we were coming out of there. We had gotten food and we had on our football like stuff, not blitz, but just flag. And she was like, man, what y'all play? Y'all look good. And we came back and did a podcast and talked about it. You're drawing a blank. That's okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about that, but I know what you're talking about. And that's real interesting. That's a real interesting, yeah.
I don't even know what to say about.
I mean, I don't either because
he's so disrespectful
as hell. Because there's more to it than just that.
Than just him saying like,
"What y'all
can we have a threesome?"
Basically, yeah. And I mean, it could happen again. I mean, it's just for one, I feel like
don't understand. No.
Yes, that.
No means no. No means no. No means
but
no.
I also think that dudes gonna stop. I also think dudes gonna take their shot regardless of what's going on. And it's like probably, I don't know, 3 out of 4 of men's dreams to have a threesome with 2 women. I just really think it is. So, yeah. I don't know. Let me see. We have anything else to cover? This is going to be a real short one just because, like we mentioned before, we have to do 2. Again, the second one is called what?
Sweet and Low Daddy.
And that's going to be posted on Patreon by Monday, April 1st. So if you want to check that out, you can find our Patreon link. Actually, I'll put it in the show notes of this one so y'all can find it. I guess the last thing that to touch on this subject is, and this is talking about social challenges of being in a lifestyle group or having a third, and you telling people when you told your best friend, did you get any type of ill
I immediately
or negative
felt
response?
kind of judged. And this is something we should talk about friendships too when it comes to, because friendships are relationships as well.
Absolutely.
And those are things that also need work.
Yeah.
And a little TLC.
Absolutely.
But this particular friend, I felt like judged me because we haven't created a safe space to talk about anything really, whether it's relationships for real, finances, mental health. Like we talk about all surface level things. And that's one of the things that I would like to get better in this particular relationship because I enjoy our friendship.
Right.
I enjoy how much fun we have together, but because our relationship is so surface level, we don't have the connection that we should have. And I feel like a lot of things that is said between us kind of get misconstrued or there's some misunderstanding. And then personally, I can't speak for her. It turns me off to wanting to talk about certain things.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when it came to my sexuality, and I told her that I like women or I was dating you or anything like that surrounding the subject of dating women. And she was like, ew, would turn her nose up to it, which is a little ironic because her sister is a whole stud. Oh. And so I always found it a little odd that she would judge me on that or have her opinion or speak openly in a negative manner about it. Yeah. Instead of being more supportive. So it made me it turned me off to wanting to even talk about that part of my life with her. And because of that subject couldn't be shared with her, a lot of subjects in my life can't be shared with her at this moment.
That makes me sad because I feel like y'all have heard me say Lauren's name on here, and I don't know if I would preface her as being my best friend, and we've been rocking since literally probably 5th grade, and I feel like I can tell her anything and she might be like, what Ramsey? But at the end of the day, she's gonna be like, hey, if you like it, I love it, let's do it, or I'm gonna support you. And that's what it's about. So it makes me sad that you feel like you don't have that best friend support from that particular friend where you can talk about anything. And I feel like, and when I say this, I don't mean this person, but I feel like sometimes when people turn their nose up at things or people like judge you about stuff, it's because it's something that they're experiencing or may want to try. Right? Like, but it's a defense mechanism. Like if I say I'm okay with it, then people might find me out. But if I turn my nose up at it, they'll be like, oh well, she ain't that way. And I don't know if that's the case, but that's just the feeling that I've gotten, not from your friend, but just in general, right? Like it's just a defense mechanism when things hit close to home and they're not necessarily viewed as positive things. People be like, oh no, I ain't about that shit. You know what I'm saying? But when really they've had thoughts about it, and I'm not even just talking about sexuality and girl on girl, I'm just talking about anything in general. I mean, that if it hits close to home and it's viewed typically in your circles as negative, and then somebody brings it up to you and you bring it to them as negative, it's typically something else behind that. So
yeah, topic for another time though.
Yeah, I'll leave that out there like that. That's really it. I mean, again, we have to do another one. So I hope y'all decide to visit Patreon to view that one. So I know we usually do about an hour, but it's late. It's the 10:35 hour in the PM, and you also have to get up and go to work. So. All right, so we're going to shut it down for today, or for the night, I should say. If you like what you listen to, please subscribe on YouTube, which is together.real.bad.pod. That's on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. You can hit us up on Patreon for the next episode, which is going to be a bonus episode, which is going to be called
Sweet and Low Daddy.
And that's it. Deidre, appreciate you tuning in. She's always being so supportive.
Oh, that's who's on?
Yes, it's Deidre. All right. That's all I got. Got anything else? Any closing words? Any affirmations you want to put out there in the air? Anything at all?
No. Well, let's think. Regarding this subject, if you're going to do it, do it.
If you're going to do it, do it.
If you're going to do it, do it.
I mean,
and don't regret it. Like, if it's something that you want to do and it's right for you in that moment, I would say the biggest thing is to make sure that everybody is clean.
Absolutely.
For sure, because you don't want to take home nothing that you ain't bring there with you.
And on the same page, like, about how we gonna handle this, what is this gonna look like have an in-depth conversation for sure, because I feel like that was one of my mistakes, is not having that conversation with my mate at the time, because I was just out here just like, okay, yeah, this is fun, but you still got to be a little responsible.
Yes. Be responsible.
All right, y'all, we out of here.
Peace.
Y'all be good.
She's stuck inside my mental. She got a body like a temple. Even though she drives me crazy, I tell everyone that's my baby. She's pretty like a 4K sunset, blue-eyed baby from the Midwest. Body so bad when she undressed. If I was your ex, I'd be upset. Little did he know I was up there.